You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get the last word.
Welcome to the Fourth Line Podcast, part of the Alberta Podcast Network. This is December the 4th, 2017, and with you today is myself, Carl, and the always wonderful Joel. Question of the day, Joel, where in the wonderful world are you today?
I am a little offended that you're asking me that, considering we're sitting less than a foot and a half away from each other.
That is a lie. I'm not even that close to the monitor where you're supposed to be. Your face is even missing. I don't even get to look at you today.
Yeah, it's because I am recording this through the hotspot of my cell phone on the side of a mountain driving towards Calgary.
That makes a lot of sense. That's what this connection would be like. It's a little ironic that the first episode you do when you arrive in Calgary, we're not even in the same room. Like, how did this happen? I got all excited. I'm like, oh, we're going to record together. It's going to be magical. And now it's the same. It's like you're still on the island. It's
sort of the same. Is because, I don't really have a good excuse other than family. They weren't ready to share me yet. Is that? I don't know. Maybe we'll record live next week. I got to come see your place next week.
Yeah, you do.
Are you done school yet? We could record at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, I'm done on Friday.
Oh, well then we could
we can do it in the middle of the afternoon.
We are going to record in the middle of the afternoon.
What a great day. I'm already excited.
We should go for like barbecue or something.
Okay.
And then record.
The Fourth Line Podcast Christmas party?
Oh, yeah. This sounds like good. Have you done any Christmas events yet?
No, I have my company Christmas party next Friday.
Okay. So I had a Christmas dinner last night.
Like a family one?
Yeah.
That's good. Was it everything you hoped and dreamed?
It was okay. I can't skip out of those things now.
Well, especially you're returning.
Yeah.
They killed the fattened pig for you.
Yeah, so we actually there was a big family picture or whatever. And but where we were there was it was just us family, so someone had to take the picture. So I volunteered to take the picture because it's I'm not in these pictures anyways. Did not go over well. People were upset that I suggested that.
Yeah, you have to lay right in the front like a goalie. That was your role.
I was trying to get my uncle to do that, but anyways, so yeah. How do you feel? We've probably talked about this before, but you like Christmas, right?
Love it. Favorite time of the year.
This is your jam. This is
the best month, especially now that I have school ending. There's that to celebrate. There's Christmas to celebrate. There's food and family and friends. Great.
Well, because I felt like doing a Christmas event yesterday was a little early.
It's December at least.
It is December at least. I was listening to the radio today. Man, it hits December and radio stations unapologetically just play only Christmas music already.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Today was the first time I busted out the Christmas music.
I can't get behind this. I don't mind that there's Christmas music, but I don't want to listen to only Christmas music.
Yeah, 100. I used to all December. That's all I listened to, and now I'm moving slowly closer to your perspective.
I don't know. So
Joel, welcome to Calgary. We did get a question in from someone. He calls himself Mountain Mike. I don't know if he's from the mountains. Maybe he's from in between where you used to live and where you now live. He had a question for you.
Okay.
So he understands it that you're a Leafs fan. Mike understands correctly.
I'm glad that is. I haven't tried to hide that.
yeah, unapologetically a Leafs fan. Like there's some episodes where Joel reined it in a little. He thought that, especially if you're Canadian, you can't become a Flames fan if you were previously a Habs or a Leafs fan. So his question is, how does that work? Are you retaining your previous fandom, or now that you will live in a city with an NHL team, are you switching over? What's happening?
Okay, first off, this offends me. I am offended, Mountain Mike, that you would even suggest that my allegiance to the Leafs is not strong enough to withstand living in Calgary. I can't believe this. Apparently I haven't shown how much I love the Leafs enough.
Yeah.
So I need to up my Leafs love.
Ooh, I don't know
on
about
the show.
That. I don't think that was the point that needed to be taken from this.
Everyone can thank Mr. Mountain Mike for me talking more about the Toronto Maple Leafs and my love for them, so that there is no question in anyone's mind that no matter where I live, I will always be a Leafs fan.
Well, thanks a lot, Mountain Mike.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about like you growing up, or you moving to a city that has a franchise and you then adopt that franchise? Like, will you ever do that?
Well, I clearly won't with this, but I'm fine with it. Like, I liken it in a way to if I was in a similar situation with you in football, right? Like, you took on the Seahawks because you saw a lot of Seahawks games, you went to Seahawks games, and you switched there after being an Eagles fan for the first, 10 years I knew you? And so...
Something like that.
And so I, in that respect, yeah, I'm fine. Like, that's now the team that you have. I do not... If someone wants to choose a new team because they are the geographically closest, that is 100% an okay reason to switch teams.
Okay. I think so. I just don't... I think I'm more okay with it if you're a kid. Because, but, if you've been, so, this is an extreme situation. So let's say I, lived in Toronto for the first 45 years of my life.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Montreal. Would it be okay for me to become a Montreal Canadiens fan?
I personally say no, but I know people who've been lifelong Oilers fans who've moved to Calgary and switched. I don't get how you can do that. How can you suddenly go from cheering your most hated rival and all of a sudden they're your favorite? That's not possible to me.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the other question. And obviously we have, I actually don't know Mountain Mike, so I should quickly say this. I'm not actually offended. I don't want to scare him off or anything like that. I'm a little sad that he doesn't think that I can carry on. But here's the question that I got thinking about. Should you be cheering for your team of the city you live in?
Well, I'm biased in that regard, so... Right,
but because it's kind of like school spirit. You know what I mean? You can't cheer, you go to this high school, so you cheer for that high school. But
yeah. I don't know, it's different. I see it as different. Because, I actually care about that. No one cares about high school sports. In
okay,
Canada.
Well, I'm just saying that's the example of... Yeah. That's kind of the equivalent. It's Calgary spirit. You should cheer for the Flames because you live in Calgary and you're a Calgarian, and it's all about...
I could see
the community.
I could see it more so if you grew up in that city. If you were...
You're not helping me out here.
if you were born and raised in Calgary, because it was family that led you to be a Leafs fan, right?
It's true.
And was that family also from Calgary, or were they from other areas? Right.
Other places.
So I get that, right? It's not like you were born and raised in Calgary by Calgarians, and that's how. And all of a sudden, for some reason, you ended up a Leafs fan.
Yeah, because like that's not true. I was gonna say when I was growing up, you didn't want to be a Leafs fan, but you actually did. Like, Leafs were good for a while.
Yeah. When you were growing up, you didn't want to be a Flames fan. That was what you didn't want to be.
Yeah, because there was a Ginla, and no matter what he did, he wasn't going to be good enough. All
right, Joel. Let us remind everyone. Speaking of Alberta hockey and Joel's return to Alberta, the ATB Financial is a great supporter of the Alberta Podcast Network, and as well supporters of hockey in Alberta and in communities. They want you to know that they're listening to you. atb.com/listens has all the information that you need to find out about the show. Not the show, the bank, what they have for you. So head over there to ATB's website to find out how they are listening to you. And now, Joel, the news of the week.
Yeah.
There's been some big news items. Let's start with the freshest. This one came down the pipe about a half hour ago, I think. I don't think it did come down the pipe about a half hour ago. The Seattle Supersonics are coming back.
In the form of an NHL team.
Exactly. They've been reincarnated as an NHL team. Seattle City Council has approved a brand new $660 million renovation, upgrade, improvement, demolition. I don't know what they're actually doing, but they're spending $660 million on an arena. Big money. And you got to find a way to justify it. You got to find a way to fill it. Bob McKenzie was tweeting out about some of the things. According to him, Seattle was where the NHL wanted to be. Market-wise, they wanted to be there over Vegas. They didn't have as solid of an owner at the time, so Vegas got a team. Seattle had to wait. It looks like this is clearing the path, one more step to an NHL team in Seattle.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's going to be an expansion team instead of a relocation.
Yeah, this is not the Seattle Coyotes. This is going to be the Seattle Thundering Pucks or whatever they'll call it.
It frustrates me that this is going to be like, could they not make it that just like relocation, just make the relocation the same fee as an expansion so the owners still get their money, but then we don't just like make the league worse by adding more teams? Because at this point, that's what we're doing, right?
You're diluting the talent pool. Yeah.
Well, and it's just, you're putting teams, you're just making worse teams. Teams are going to be worse. Like, the Arizona Coyotes are going to lose one of their players. They're going to be worse than they already are.
Unless you move them there, yes.
Unless you move them there. But if there's an expansion team, someone's going to take a player with them, and they're going to be like, wow, you're now worse. And then you had, like, another team drafting, so worse guys are getting drafted. It's just worse and worse and worse. And you already have teams that are failing. Like, you have teams that can't win anywhere. We talk about this forever. I can go on and on about relocation versus expansion, and it makes me angry.
Yeah. Well, obviously the NHL wants to get that multi-$100 million expansion ticket. But I'm with you. I think that if they were to find a way to move a team there, I'd be 100% in favor of that. And I think it comes down partially to, in Winnipeg, they found a way to get a team there with the Jets moving. If you can find an owner who's willing to sell in one of these markets that's not doing as well, and take them there, then this solves a problem, right? You see the Arizona arena issues after arena issues. They're the prime target, but Carolina, I would not switch my bandwagonness if all of a sudden they switched to being the Seattle Hurricanes. I guess they'd have to be the Tsunamis, though, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because the Pacific, they don't have hurricanes, right?
So Seattle Tsunamis?
I like that. What did they say when this arena is going to be done?
They have not. They just got approval tonight. So So it looks like 2020 is the aim for the date. Nothing official yet.
So we'd be looking at, that would be the earliest that you'd get an NHL team there.
So if you're looking at like the 2020-2021 season.
That would be the earliest. Do you think they get a team that early? Like, do you think they get a team season 1 of when the new arena's finished?
I think so, because then you've got this arena sitting there empty, right? Like, you want to try to get that in there.
So, okay.
If we're starting to look that far out, just a note, 21-22, last year of the CBA. So you want to get that team in there before you have Gary Bettman's final lockout before he retires.
Oh, man. What teams, so like, what are the teams that you would think of? Let's pretend that Bettman's smart. I know, it's a stretch. But let's pretend that. Which team do you think would be the most likely to relocate after the Coyotes? Because, like, everyone, that's low-hanging fruit. We assume they're going to be the first gone.
Yeah.
But I'm not, like, there's, like, at least 4 more teams that could easily be relocated.
Well, let's just start with brainstorming. So teams that could be relocated, I start to look at teams with low attendance and arena problems. So Carolina.
Yeah.
Islanders, that's a hard sell. I doubt that happens, but they've got arena problems.
At what point does Ottawa move into this mix?
Yeah, I think they could be there.
Like, I would say Ottawa's more likely to relocate than the Islanders are.
Yes, I literally only was basing that off of Islanders need an arena.
Right. You'd think, yeah, I don't know. And then does one of those, like the Panthers, they got to be high up there. I don't know if they probably don't have arena problems.
No, and I think that's probably the biggest. They have attendance problems.
Yeah. And the other thing is talent problems, but that goes hand in hand with attendance, right? Like, because like if the Lightning were bad, they would have attendance problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that would just be like pretty much any American team that's not an original 6 will have attendance problems if they're terrible.
Except for, the Flyers have lost 1 million games and they're still 4th in the league in attendance.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So you think as soon as this arena's done, they'll have a team in there? I don't think there'll be a team in there before the lockout.
So you think that's what we're looking at? They'll finish this CBA. Bettman will get a lockout, come back with a fancy new team to make everyone forget that he lost the season or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they can get one in there before that.
Well, let us see what happens next in the news docket. There was a trade this week.
A weird one.
Like it came out of left field. I'm sitting there. What was that? Thursday morning. This came out and was released, and just there was no lead up to it. There was no rumors of a trade between Anaheim and New Jersey. Just, hey, we made a trade.
Yeah, and weird. So Vatanen goes to the Devils. Henrique, how do you say that?
Adam Henrique
goes to the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. And there's a bunch of other pieces. I think the Devils had to give like picks and another guy, right? So the Devils were the ones who gave more.
The picks are a wash. Essentially, it was Henrique, Blandisi and a third to Anaheim for Vatanen and a conditional third to New Jersey.
What's the conditional?
Henrique re-signing. So it's a conditional third. I think it drops to a fourth and he re-signs. So again, like essentially the picks.
If he doesn't re-sign, you mean?
Yeah, if he doesn't re-sign. So the picks are
so basically it's just Vatanen for Henrique. Who cares about
exactly? That's the core of it. And I was surprised for a few reasons. One, the Devils are doing really well right now.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that they felt that they needed to shake things up in a way.
Yeah, except I think the reason why they felt that they needed to shake things up because they were like, hey, we can turn Henrique into Vatanen And I think you do that. I don't think it matters where you are in the standings or who you are. I just think you make that trade any day of the week.
I think that definitely an improvement. But that's what surprised me at first was that from the Ducks side,
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
This is a team that I could have seen them doing something like this in the offseason, before the expansion draft, before this, but they've now taken what was at one point a position of strength, right? They said, okay, we've got all these D, right? They had Theodore, Fowler, Vatanen. I'm missing another guy.
Mason.
Yeah. They had Mason come into his own, and they said, yeah, we can move some. Well, Theodore's gone to Vegas. They have, so they were down one, and they still had this perception that they had. Oh, Hampus Lindholm, that's the guy I was forgetting.
All right, I always forget. They're still not in a position of weakness there. They still have a great decor.
I think they have an okay decor now. They have a good decor. I'll give it that. But so you have Lindholm, Fowler, Manson, Montour. That you've still got Francois Beauchemin on this team actually playing games. You've got Kevin Bieksa on this team. The only thing that he's making waves for right now is the fact that he Superman punches people.
But the thing is on this one, I just think it's panicky. They're not in a playoff spot. They don't have their top two centermen, and so they just got panicky and went out and picked up a centerman. And Vatanen was always the guy. He was gone. Vatanen's, we all knew he was going to move at some point. So, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense for Anaheim. I like it for the Devils, though. It makes, I don't know. Henrique's fine. He's a good player, but it's not irreplaceable.
No.
You can find guys like him. Guys like him get traded at the deadline all the time.
Well, and especially with the fact that the Devils now are bringing up behind him Pavel Zacha and Nico Hischier, right? Having those two guys drafted at center makes it so that long term he's a third line center.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, so I like it. It makes sense for them. It does. I don't get what the Ducks are. I'm worried about the Ducks. Are you worried about the Ducks?
Definitely, I'm worried about the Ducks. I think as soon as they had Getzlaf and Kessler out long term, and you start to see the fact that they're not producing, there was issues at the start of last year with them not producing and them taking a while to turn it around. And eventually they did. But it took way too long. And now we have guys hurt. So the guys who are needed to kickstart that are not on this roster, right? Ryan Getzlaf needing to turn his season around. Well, that's not happening anytime soon. Ryan Kessler's not turning things around anytime soon. You have, the pieces in front of their goaltending is fine. I think their I know their goaltending's improved from last year. The difference between Ryan Miller and Jonathan Bernier is a big difference.
Yeah. Do you think are they going to make it? Are they going to make the playoffs? Yes or no today? You have to sit
how far out are they right now? What is their?
They're 2 points out.
Yeah, they'll make it.
You think so?
Yeah.
They're 3 points out. Yeah, they probably do. Vegas ain't. They're dropping. They're coming closer to the pack, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Vancouver, I don't expect them to be able to maintain this the whole year.
So, okay, on the scale, so you have to rank these teams of which you are most worried about to least worried about. Minnesota, Chicago, Anaheim.
Chicago is the most, then Anaheim, Minnesota I'm the least worried about.
I am the most worried about Anaheim. They have so like Getzlaf and Kessler. Who knows when they'll be back? Like they'll be back at some point. We don't know when though. Their goal differential not good. Like they're when you're letting in more goals and scoring, not a good sign. They're sitting at 500. Like I don't know. I just don't see it. I would be worried about this team. There's so many more teams.
Joel,
that I would be much more confident.
Another stat, a fancier stat.
Okay.
The Ducks
is this in my favor or against me?
This is 100% in favor of you. The Anaheim Ducks are currently the worst 5-on-5 Corsi team.
Yes, there you go. That's bad.
That's really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am most worried about the Ducks. I don't think they're making the playoffs. Of those three teams, they're not making the playoffs. I actually think of those three teams, two of those three are missing the playoffs.
Well, if we're looking, down this road, I know I said Minnesota was the one I'm least worried about. They are, and I switched my numbers over to score adjusted Corsi, but Anaheim's still last. Minnesota third worst in that statistic. For me, the reason that I said that is that Zach Parise is getting closer to returning to this lineup. And so for me, that is a guy who has not been there this season. So it's not like we can look at it and say, well, they were terrible with Kessler, with Getzlaf. They're still terrible. Like that needs to change. This team is adding a piece that I think is a huge improvement and will be an asset to them moving forward. So,
oh, for sure. He's like, I'm not saying Zach Parise is the greatest thing ever, but he's a great player. He's a difference maker on this team. So getting him back is going to be huge.
100%.
So, yeah. What do you do? So Chicago, you're not super worried. They make the playoffs. They're 1 point out right now. They're 12-10-5.
Here's what I feel about the Blackhawks is this is a team that is what it is right now. Right? In the same way that the Oilers are what they are. Like there's not a whole lot that you can be like, yeah, but they're missing this piece that they're going to be getting back. Like there's nothing really like Crawford's hurt right now. So that's a difference, but he hasn't been hurt this entire time. That's a new development, right? And so for me, I'm like what is going to change for this team moving forward? You got the Brandon Saad band back together again in the offseason. That was your big move. And like it hasn't helped. It hasn't kickstarted anything. And for me, it's a team that I'd be worried about. Sure, possession-wise, they look great, but possession-wise, the Oilers are second in the league. Like, to a degree, you have to start performing. You have to start looking at, okay, there's a difference between what the eye test, when the eye test and the numbers start to differ, I have to start to say, okay, well, what is that telling us? Because it has to tell us something, right? And it's telling to me that usually leads me to say, okay, well, you're taking your shots from terrible places. If they're still taking the right amount of shots, and that means you're either getting terrible goaltending or your shot selection and execution is miserable. The Blackhawks have a number of players who can put the puck in the net. So for me, I look at that and I say, these guys have to perform. They're not executing like they need to. And I don't think that there's a way other than just trying to ride it out. And that's a dangerous thing. Like, it's not like you can say, okay, like maybe this guy will turn it around. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe he's having a bad season. Maybe, his dog died and he's sad. It happens.
Yeah. Yes. This team, it made me very sad for Blackhawk fans when you said this team is what it is. Because I was like, not only is it is what it is, but it's also not getting better.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. This is what it is for the next years.
Yeah. It was just like, I was like, I don't care how good that DeBrincat. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
I don't care how good he is.
Where's he from?
I'm pretty sure Canada. I think I knew that one.
Which province?
Oh, who cares? PEI for all I care. Yeah, I don't care how good that guy is.
He's from Michigan.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I thought he was from Canada. Huh, there you go. I lose again. I'm not good at that game.
No,
I'm really bad at that game.
like, you're the one who came up with that game, so
I know.
I think what makes it confusing is that he played in the OHL.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Because I was like, I seem to recall him playing in Canada. So, anyways, yeah, I think I would be worried about all three of those teams. But I'm most worried about the Ducks. I don't think they're making the playoffs, which is crazy. Because if you said it like at the beginning of the season, if you said, hey, by Christmas time, these three teams are not going to be in a playoff spot. Or what are the chances these three teams are all not in a playoff spot? What would you have said?
I would have laughed at you.
Yeah, of course. But, like, now, we still have a lot of hockey to play before the end of December. So, and they're not, Minnesota's only 1 point out. So there is a chance that or at least one of them makes it into a playoff spot. But right now, chances of them being in a playoff spot are not very good. Because they haven't been able to be it yet, so.
Yes.
Anyways, I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried, Carl. I'm worried about these people.
I'm glad that you care.
Yeah, because we have people who cheer for these teams expect these teams to always be in the playoffs, and they're not going to be, and it's sad.
Very, very, very true. Speaking of people who care about some of these, about players, about teams, a lot of people, especially fans of these teams, care about Andrew Doughty, and Erik. Can't make that any longer. Eriksson Karlsson.
I thought you just made up that his name was Andrew. It took me a few seconds to be like, oh yeah, no, that's right.
Like, that's probably
Drew is
his
short
name.
for Andrew.
I was just giving him like this playful nickname.
Yeah, you're just like adding things to his name. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Why are you doing that? And then I was like, nope, that's because it's his name.
Yeah, it probably... Now, Wikipedia does not name him as Andrew.
Oh.
But, come on, Mr. and Mrs. Doughty. Just call him Andrew. It gives him so many more options. He could go as Andy, Andrew, Drew. It's really limited him with shorten it straight to the nickname.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what do they call? What's his nickname in LA? Like,
I don't know. That's a good question. I can't think of what his nickname is. Because like his last name already ends in a Y, so you can't add that to it, right?
Like, yeah, I don't know. I like Dow Tree.
Doughty?
Double D. I don't know. What do you call him?
I don't.
DD.
Definitely not that.
I don't know. What do you think he would do if you were like, hey, DD? Probably not happy about that.
Yeah, that would not go well for whoever did that.
Punch you.
He wouldn't punch me because I don't think that would bode well for him to just punch a stranger on the street.
Right, he'd probably get suspended.
That would probably, like lose him some endorsements.
Does the NHL have a commissioners list like the NFL where you can just be like, hey, we don't like you. We're just going to put you on this list because you've done terrible things.
So if you don't get suspended, you just go on like the naughty list essentially.
Yeah, well, that's what the NFL has. It's the like, you need to not act that way. So we're putting you on this thing where you don't get paid. Or no, they usually do get paid on that. It's a weird thing. It's so bizarre.
Punishment in the NFL is just weird in general.
Yeah, well, because it's like, I don't know, they have like, what's a lifestyle, what's kind of thing, like, I don't know what to call it, like where they say like, you need to act a certain way to work in our league. To be employed by us, you have to act a certain way.
Like a morality clause almost.
Yeah, sort of. I don't know. It's kind of, and then they don't act that way, and they're like, okay, you can't. We're not letting you work for us anymore, but we're not actually we're still paying you. We don't like that you did that. Nobody likes that you did that, but we're still going to pay you.
Apparently, in junior, Andrew's nickname was Donut.
Donut?
Yeah, which also makes sense because like the number 8 is 2 donuts.
I mean, because that's how many goals he scored.
Either way, back to the topic at hand.
Sorry, this derailed.
That's fine. After some comments to Craig Cousins at The Athletic this week, the topic of Drew Doughty and Erik Karlsson, can we use the term colluding? Does this count as colluding? To make sure that they, talk to each other about their pending free agency. What do you think about this?
I think it's hilarious. And it's just like, I don't think it's collusion, because I don't think there's anything that stops them from doing this. Is there?
No, because it's not like their agent isn't doing it. They're not... I don't know. Does mentioning it to the media when asked about it count as collusion? I don't think so.
Oh, no. So also, how come you didn't give Erik Karlsson like a fun nickname? I thought you were going to go with Erik Karlsson.
I did. I called him Eriksson Karlsson.
Carl Eriksson Karlsson. Carl Eriksson? What's this guy's name again? I don't even know.
Erik Karlsson.
Okay, so Erik Karlsson is from Sweden.
Yes, he is.
Do you think he picked up Doughty's call originally? Like, do you think Doughty had to text him first and be like, hey, bud, we need to talk. I'm going to call you. And then he calls, and Erik doesn't pick up. Because he's like, I don't like you, Doughty. I don't like you, Donut 88.
I think
not 88. That's Eric Lindros. Do you think
they obviously had some sort of relationship already, or else they wouldn't be talking about maybe going to the same team, right?
Are they actually talking about going to the same team?
That's part of it, obviously. Like if they're talking about it together.
I don't think they are talking about going to the same team. I thought they were talking about. My understanding is that they were talking about making sure that they both got the same level of contract. So Correct. They were making sure that one guy didn't get paid significantly more than the other. So like basically, neither of them are going to sign a contract without calling the other guy and be like, "How much are you getting offered?"
And both of them have the thought is that they want more than PK Subban.
Yeah. That's the thing that's great about this, is not only did Doughty say, yeah, we're going to make sure that we both get paid handsomely and that the other one doesn't get screwed out of a bunch of money because we don't talk with each other. He's like, but also we're using PK as our benchmark. We're going to make more than him. I was like, he's just openly talking about this.
Yeah.
There's no way, good for them. I'm glad that they're doing it. Because GMs aren't allowed to do that, and if they did, that sounds terrible. I don't want to give any teams and owners any help.
Just say
all the power to the players.
Well, and I feel like from the owner's perspective, that would definitely backfire, right? Like if you were to say the rumor for years in Colorado was that no one could make more money than Matt Duchene. Obviously, we saw how that ended.
That was a dumb rule,
right? And if you were to come out and say that, well, no one's it ends any contract talks with any free agent who would make more than him immediately. Because they're like, well, yeah. You have this rule. I know I'm not going to make more than Matt Duchene. Why would I want to come here? I'm better than he is.
Yeah. I don't know. I like this. I hope that they actually do, just sit down and compare notes with each other. That'd be hilarious. Can you imagine a conversation between these two? I don't think, I just can't imagine. Karlsson just seems like he seems just suave, smart, kind of trendy. Doughty's kind of I don't know.
Like
Your average Joe.
He looks like he listens to Nickelback.
That's probably about as accurate a description for Drew Doughty as you can. That's why they call him Drew. Because, like, Andrew Doughty doesn't listen to Nickelback. But Drew Doughty does.
And Andy Doughty definitely doesn't.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Andy listens to Sum 41. Like, can you imagine how that conversation goes? Where do you think they go for dinner? Like, they're like, okay, we need to go for dinner to compare notes. Where do you think they go? Like, Drew is definitely pushing for, like, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Or, like, he's like, hey, let's go to Taco Bell.
It's like, I don't know, like, there's really, like, at least go somewhere, like, this restaurant over here, they sell quesadillas. Is that good enough for you, Drew? No. Yeah. I need that fake cheese.
Yeah. Or he's like, Karlsson's like, yeah, hey, can we at least, like, go to a sit-down place? And he's like, fine, Smitty's. What about Denny's?
They're open
Denny's. It's like, Karlsson's like, and we're about to make the same amount of money.
Yeah, I'm making sure that this guy gets paid. Why?
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine? That's my guess. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Karlsson's, like, wanting to go to these restaurants that I've never heard of that it's, like, $500 bill or whatever. And Doughty's just sitting there and just, like, pulls out his stack of ones to pay for his 3 tacos from Taco Bell. It's like, let's get it done. Let's do this.
PK on his deal got 8 years, $9 million a season. Do you think, like, to me, I think if those guys hit the open market, that's a very reasonable number for them to beat at this point.
Oh, easily. Like, but they're only going to get 7 if they don't go back to the teams.
Right.
I don't know why, like, if you're Drew Doughty, why would you not go back to LA?
It's a great question, Joel. Reasons why I wouldn't go back to LA. One is that even though they've improved this year and they have managed to turn it around and start to right that ship a bit, I foresee a shorter window there than he can get from another team. And who knows what that other team is, but there are teams out there with longer windows than that. So I would try to go to a team that's on the like, let's say hypothetically speaking, who would you rather sign with right now? A team, and assuming that they're, well, looking at their cap situation, but assuming that they don't need to move anyone else, Los Angeles Kings, New Jersey Devils.
Am I Drew Doughty or am I Erik Karlsson?
You are Erik Karlsson.
New Jersey.
Drew Doughty?
LA.
For the legacy reasons, or?
I already have a cup. Why would I want to live in New Jersey when I could live in LA?
Great reason.
True. And the other thing is, I get an extra year because if I stay in LA, I get 8.
Yeah.
So I get an extra year. I live by the beach. I already have my Stanley Cup. And in 15 years, they're putting Andrew Doughty up on the Hall of Fame.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm pretty, like, people love that guy.
Yeah.
People love Drew Doughty.
He would have to maintain, like, he would have to play great. No, Drew Doughty is,
Drew Doughty's going to be a Hall of Famer. He just is.
That makes me sad.
You want to know why it makes you sad? It's because, and we've talked about this again, it's because guys get into the Hall of Fame
based on awards and credentials.
And just the Hall of Fame isn't actually that elite.
That's true.
Guys make it who really shouldn't be. It's not like you look at it and you're like, oh, I didn't realize that guy was a Hall of Famer. Like, Dominic Hasek's in the Hall of Fame, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. Mark Recchi, the owner of the Mark Recchi rule, is in the Hall of Fame. Anyways.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you want to play a game?
I do want to play games. I like playing games.
All right. This is a game that was written not by me. friend of the show, writer for the website, Michael J. Laybourne, MJL, the initials, love it. He is going to be doing a series on the best second overall draft picks in the league. He's like,
whoa.
yeah. Because, everyone knows, like, Nail Yakupov, failed first overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, not many people pay attention to the failed second overall picks or even second overall picks in general. So we've got a series of questions, 4 questions for you, Joel. I have the answers, so I cannot play. I expect that you will get 2 out of these 4 questions right.
So you're going to ask me a question, and the answer is a second overall draft pick?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Jordan and Erik Staal were both drafted second overall.
Mm-hmm.
But who was drafted first?
Like, what do you mean? Like, who entered the league first?
Who was drafted earlier?
Erik Staal.
That is incorrect.
Really? Jordan's been in the league longer?
Wait, no, that's not the question he asked. All right, so Joel only has 3 questions to try. I believe it was... No, I don't... Let me look this up.
Erik Staal has been in the league longer than Jordan. That's no question.
But was he drafted first? I might have messed up this question.
I thought you said they were both drafted second overall.
Right, so Jordan was drafted in 2006.
Yeah.
Erik was drafted in 2003. I'm not sure what the question is by Mike.
But the answer was Jordan.
The answer to the question was Jordan.
But the answer to the question you asked was Erik.
Correct.
So I'm counting that.
Yeah, Joel got the question right. All right, here we go.
I feel like that was a bit of a softball, though.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's see how hard this one is. Which forward, drafted second overall by New Jersey in 1987, finished his career with 1,524 games, 1,354 points, and 2,489 penalty minutes?
That's all I get.
He was drafted. Yeah, I gave you his stats, the team, and the year he was drafted in. What else do you want? His name?
Well, I would like to know if that's the only team he played for.
I can't give you that.
Lots of penalty minutes. 87. So if he played, how many games?
1,524. Which, I'll do the math real quick. 1,524 is 18.6 seasons.
So, just because...
Do you want to get that?
There's someone calling me. I want to say, I think it's someone that we've actually talked about. Well, I'm guessing.
Oh, we've talked about this person.
Okay. So it comes between, I'm trying to remember, was Bobby Holik drafted by the Devils or the Rangers?
I got some crap on Twitter last week. Apparently I called him Brian Holik. Who knew?
Oh, really? It's Bobby Holik.
Yeah, I know that. I'm well aware.
I'm sad I missed that.
Yeah.
Or I feel like Shanahan might be. Like, I think it's one of those two.
Okay.
I don't know.
Brian or Brendan. That could be a game someday.
Like, Brian. I'll go Holik.
It is Brendan.
Oh, that was close. I'm going to count a half a point there.
I will not. We already gave you a full point on the last one. All right.
I got the last one right.
All right. At the end of last season, which of these active players, all who were picked second overall, has played the most games?
Okay.
Daniel Sedin, Erik Staal, or Jason Spezza?
Not Spezza. Daniel,
Erik, Spezza.
I'm going to go Daniel Sedin.
You are correct by about 200 games.
Yeah, he hasn't had very many injuries.
Yeah.
He's really old.
That is a fact. All right, so Joel is 2 for 3. Those were
2.5.
2 for 3. The next question is I don't think you're going to get this one. This is actually not a question about someone drafted second overall.
No, so just change. Not a part of this game at all.
It is. Don't worry. In 1971, Marcel Dion was drafted second overall by the Detroit Red Wings. I think Mike just wanted to get a Red Wings reference in here. That's
right.
All. Marcel Dion was drafted second. Which fellow Hall of Famer was picked first overall in 1971?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know the 70s at all.
Okay. Well, the answer to that question is Guy Lafleur.
Yeah, no idea.
Right. So there you go.
That's not bad. 2.5 out of 4.
As predicted, Joel got 2 out of 4.
I'm counting that. Should we do a Twitter poll? Do I get half a point for that?
Yeah, sure. We can, like, the fact that you answered the wrong question or answered the wrong player, just because you picked him second overall, Joel, just because this series.
Yeah, the whole thing was about second overall. That's perfect.
No, you have to be better. That's the point of this. Well, thanks, Mike, for the game. Sorry, Joel was only 50%. That's a pass. 50%. That's a C's get degrees.
I'm pretty sure that's a D. But
okay. Well, sorry, Joel.
Anyway,
your grade is sufficient.
Oh man,
you doing okay over there?
I'm a little upset about this. I feel like I should have won that, and so yeah.
Do you want to know someone else who did win something?
Well, who?
Chad Milroy won high sticking.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Wow. Congrats, Chad.
Long time, first time for Chad.
Yeah, I don't think has he won something before?
He has never won anything.
Wow. Is he so he gets a stick or?
I have it on good authority because actually I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, we had given away a couple of sticks right at the beginning. His son, as the youngest listener of this show, got one.
Yeah, I believe he got the first one.
He did get one of the very first sticks ever given out. And ever since then, his son has said, Dad, you need to win one so that we can play mini sticks together.
Oh, so he's going to go with a mini stick.
And so I do believe that instead of the puck, he's going with a stick because his son has waited for approximately 2 seasons for Dad to finally win something.
Well, congrats, Chad. Well done. I was going to say something, but I forget what. Are we going to play a round of high sticking before the 12 days of high sticking?
Right. So I realized after calling that this would be the end, that I ended it a week premature.
Well, no, we knew we were going to.
Yeah.
We said we're going to do like a little short high sticking.
So do we want to just do 1 week and still give out a prize? Is that the goal?
Yeah, let's do that. It's Christmas. Let's give away stuff.
All right. This is 1 week. We'll go with all. Is there a game like, I was going to say, is there a game in the middle of the afternoon on Monday? It's not, we're the only ones who aren't working on Monday. Apparently everyone else is.
Yeah.
Just remember, when you are working on Monday, Joel and I will be celebrating the Fourth Line Podcast Christmas party, eating barbecue.
Yeah. So can we do something different for high sticking for the game or for the Pavel Bures?
Okay.
Not really different. I just want to be a little bit more choosy with our games.
Okay.
Because I'm going to attempt. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Basically, this is the only week of my life that I'll probably be able to do this. But I want to choose games because I'm going to try and watch every high-sticking game this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that also means we have to choose games that I want to watch.
Okay.
because I don't. There's sometimes.
So is this a Joel only week of high sticking picks?
No, you can have some influence, but maybe I'll give you select. Can I just give you? I'll rule out games that I don't want to watch.
Okay, so
and give you like a choice.
So every night, we'll start with tomorrow. I'll start. There's a lot of games tomorrow, and you just veto it. If you're like, no, that's a terrible idea, I'm not doing that.
Okay,
does that sound good?
It. Yeah, I like it.
And then on a night with only a few games, you just say which one you're watching.
Okay.
All right. So tomorrow night, there is a smattering of games.
There's so many games.
Yeah. My pick is the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay, I'll watch that.
Okay.
Yep, I like that.
Done.
That's a good pick. So then Wednesday, so there's only two options here. Yeah, there's only two options. So either the Leafs are playing, or you have to pick the late game so that I can watch it after the Leafs game. So your choice, Flames and Leafs, Senators and Ducks.
Flames, Leafs.
Okay.
Are you going to be, when you're watching these games, are you going to be on the tweeters?
I can maybe do that.
All right. We'll retweet some, but you can find Joel on Twitter.
Maybe we'll do, hey, if I do that, maybe we'll give away, like, I'll do some, like, if anyone happens to be watching along with, I'll maybe do some extra point giveaways. Maybe some trivia or something like that. Give away some egg. Since it's only a week, give some people some opportunities to win some extra points.
Okay. Do you want to let people know how they can find you on Twitter for these extra points?
No, I'll do it. If I do that, I'll just use the podcast account.
Okay.
Can we choose a later game tomorrow then? I just realized I'm not home at 4:00.
That's fair.
So do you want to go Kings, Minnesota, teams that we talked about tonight?
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds great.
Okay. So that's Tuesday night instead.
Also, you just answered a question that everyone likes to ask us. They say, does Joel ever tweet from the podcast account?
No, I don't.
But sometimes. It's very rare, but it does happen.
It makes Carl happy. And usually when I do, Carl is I don't tell Carl, but Carl is the only one that knows.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm like, Joel, why? Like, there's tweets sent out, and it wasn't me. Dallas, St. Louis, 6:00 on Thursday.
Okay, let's do. I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Friday, I will be watching. I don't know. Preds Vegas. I've never watched a Vegas game before.
Well, there you go. I've watched several, and they're surprisingly entertaining.
Okay. Saturday. So you have Leafs Penguins or Sens Sharks, Canucks Flames, Kings Hurricanes.
Let's go. I think Leafs Pens is the best choice there.
Oh, so we're going Leafs. 2 Leafs games this week.
Yeah, but you bet your bottom. All right, two more. Sunday. Now there's only 4 games. 2 of them have teams 3 of them have teams we've already picked this week.
Okay.
So do we want San Jose, Minnesota, Buffalo, St. Louis, or Arizona, Chicago? All of them evening, Sunday evening.
I'm fairly certain. Was I looking at the wrong schedule?
December 10th?
No. I'm right. I'm fine. Okay. I don't know what was up. Which one did you say you're going with?
I personally, if I'm watching a game, I'm watching Minnesota, San Jose.
It has to be that. Unless it's the Leafs again.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to watch my Leafs games, but I'm going to watch the other ones on top of it, maybe. I'm going to attempt to.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hockey.
I believe in you.
So, I got nothing to do this week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. Something happened with the website, and I was confused there for a second.
Okay.
I was looking at scores, not the schedule. And so it wasn't letting me go further than Wednesday or Thursday or something. I don't know. So hopefully I didn't choose a wrong game.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Do we want to do a game Monday night? No, we can't do one, because if we're recording Monday afternoon, that needs to be done so we can crown a champion. No game on Monday. You have 6 chances plus Joel's bonus points.
So Yeah, no game Monday. I like that.
Okay, 6 games. That's it. Play high sticking. Pick who you think is going to score the game-winning goal, and stay tuned on Twitter for when Joel hands out random points without me knowing.
You might know.
Well, you'll have to tell me so I can put them on the old score sheet.
Maybe. Hey, what about? What are you doing Saturday?
I don't even know.
Well, if you're doing nothing, I should come over and we'll watch both those games.
I have nothing, so.
Well, we should do that.
There you go.
Well, maybe.
We should probably, we got a gift in the mail from our friend Nick. We could try that out.
There you go. I like this. We'll talk to, the people that make the schedules for our lives, and if they're okay with it. I like this idea. I've never been to your place.
I know. It's great.
Do I have to take the train?
If you wanted to drive, you could. But, the train's right across from my place, so... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, thanks for tuning in this week. Joel, as we mentioned before, and this is even more so now, they announced a ton of new shows over at the Alberta Podcast Network. It is fantastic things happening over there. And literally, like I've said this before, that if you want a show, there's a show over there for you. So I'm just going to briefly mention some of the new additions. There's a teaching podcast. So if you, like myself, are someone who is a student to become a teacher, you already are a teacher, you should check out, it's called Ed. Conversations about the teaching life. And I have been listening to this week. Fantastic conversations over there. So make sure to check that out. Ed Conversations. And you can find them at theedpodcast.podbean.com.
I like it.
You can find us at thefourthlinepodcast.com, on Twitter to play high sticking, and vote on the poll if Joel got 2.5 points or 2 points. You can do that at Fourth Line Podcast on Twitter. We're on the Facebooks, facebook.com/thefourthlinepodcast. We're also on Pinterest, a site that we never use, but we have an account there because we need to.
Because Pinterest is where it is at.
It is the place of the future.
Is it?
I
thought
know.
MySpace was.
Is it like Dippin' Dots? Like Dippin' Dots and Pinterest?
Dude, I've never had Dippin' Dots.
Me either. I've always wanted to, but I find, I don't know. I'm just going to have ice cream if I want them.
Yeah, I don't know. They're always beside like the lemonade stand at the fair.
Yes.
And then I always get lemonade.
Right.
So I'm like, why would I want that when I can have lemonade?
That is right. Well, Joel, sounds like you and I have a big week in store, a big week of high sticking in store, leading up to the 12 days of high sticking. We're working through the final details of that. You know what else is happening, Joel? Forgot to mention this. Our new show is coming out this week.
We have a new show.
Yeah. We are going to be, not me and Joel, actually. I've kicked Joel off of this show. I've said, Joel. It was so disrespectful. I didn't even use his right name. Andrew Schnell, you're gone.
Andrew Drew Schnell.
Goodbye. We are going to be doing a WHL podcast. And so that'll be coming out. Look for that later this week. It'll be on a different feed. You can still find it on the website, but we don't want to bog down what's happening here on the Fourth Line. It'll be a brand new podcast, tentatively called the Fourth Line WHL Cast. So if you want to know about junior hockey in the western part of North America, we'll have you covered. Andy Eade and Ryan Pike. Andrew, there you go. I did get an Andrew on there. They're going to be doing the show with me. It should be a lot of fun.
I like it.
And until next week, when we record in the middle of the afternoon.
Boom City.